People that's watching, what is up? Chill till I explode. Hey, yeah. So you guys know what video I'm checking out. It is another MsMojo, and that is on Degrassi. Yes, I've seen Degrassi, The Next Generation, from season 1 through season 14. I liked it. I didn't even like some of these characters, but then I grew attached and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I like you now. But yeah, it's gonna be that. So anybody that wants to check it out, this chick, let's go ahead and get it. Let's go. The following may contain suicide and self-harm topics. Please be advised. Okay, if you guys can't handle suicide or self-harm topics, bye. This is gonna show it's Degrassi.
It looks like we've caught this very early.
Caught what exactly?
Oh, that's right, he had cancer.
Welcome to...
That's right, Spinner had cancer. Yo, I was like, yo, I cannot stand Spinner. Like, I really couldn't stand him. He annoyed the hell out of me, to the point that I'm just like, oh my god, can something bad like happen to him? But then when something bad did happen to him, when he ended up getting cancer, I was like, okay, I'm starting to like Spinner. Like, Degrassi, I was only joking. Not really, but now I was only kidding. I'm like, nah, have him be fine, okay? Don't let it be no freaking JT all over again.
MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 times Degrassi tackled serious issues.
I don't want you hearing all this.
I know what happened.
Not the details.
For this list, we're looking at the
Oh my
most
gosh, is this a
significant
shooting
times
one?
when Degrassi the Next
Jeez, it
Generation
is. Oh my god,
showcased
screw you,
difficult
Rick. Ugh.
real-world issues people face. Plot points will be discussed, so consider this your spoiler alert. What did you learn from watching Degrassi? Let us know in the comments.
A whole bunch
Number
of
20,
dramatic mess.
Adam's transition. Shortly after Chaz Bono made headlines for his transition, Degrassi decided to highlight the plight of everyday trans men
Grassi's
in
like,
their
I'm gonna
show.
do the same
Fly
thing.
under the radar for now, okay?
In high school, Mom, no such thing. Besides, being in recreation class shines its own special spotlight.
Someone could find out, Adam, and if they do, they could really hurt you.
The representation was pretty revolutionary for a mainstream series at the time, even though it did uncritically show some dangerous practices. In the two-part episode, My Body is a Cage,
Oh,
Degrassi
yeah.
addressed Adam's insecurities about his body and continued menstruation.
Why do you have tampons?
None of your biz,
Did
Claire.
Adam drop something?
Claire, pick up your stuff. That's nasty.
The series also directly deals with different kinds of real-world transphobia, showing physical altercations with classmates, as well as private misgendering from
Jeez,
family
that freaking
members.
door though.
These events are shown to take a toll on Adam and help audiences understand how important it is to accept and uplift trans people in their real lives.
I just don't understand.
You don't have to. Just accept.
Accept what? That your life is gonna be hard?
Mom, it's hardest when I'm Gracie. If I'm gonna get through it, I need you to see me as Adam, your son.
Number 19, Emma is catfished. Degrassi the Next
was like the
Generation
first
doesn't waste
episode, like
any
first
time,
2 episodes.
jumping head first into a story about predatory catfishing in its premiere episodes. Unbeknownst to her mother, Emma has been emailing with a boy online.
Jordan's coming here. You have to.
Oh my gosh, I see
It's
JT. Oh.
Who's Jordan? Some creep Emma met on the net. I bet he lives in Scarborough and works at a video store. I bet he's 40 and drools.
Her friends are wary of the internet romance, but she ignores their concerns and decides
She's
to
like,
meet up
screw
with the
my
boy
friends, let
in
me do my
person.
own thing, okay?
Every
And then
parent's
look what
worst nightmare
happened.
comes true when she follows an adult man up to his hotel room.
Shoulda
I couldn't tell
listened.
you my real age. I thought you'd stop writing me.
I want to
Boy,
go
bye.
home.
Shut up.
Okay. But you can't go home if you're locked in the bathroom.
Thankfully,
Just
Emma's
a
friends
freaking little creep.
mobilize,
Nah.
and her mother and Snake are able to find and save her before anything too bad happens. Still, the lesson is clear. Kids should never meet up with strangers they've met online.
So he's going
Come
to jail?
on.
Oh, yeah.
Or else you're
When this comes
screwed.
back, keep it downstairs. Keep the cyberstalkers out of her room.
Number 18, Emma's eating disorder. In Degrassi's
Yeah.
5th season, Emma's home life
Yeah,
is
she
on the
was
rocks.
so obsessed.
Her mother and Snake are
Jeez.
broken up, and she's been left with more chores and more stress. The stress is doubled when she becomes obsessed with her body.
I am so fat.
Don't even talk about fat. I'm the fat one in this house. All this fast food, no wonder I gained
Girl,
all
you're
this
skinny
weight.
like me.
She begins extreme dieting with Manny, convincing her friend to eat less, exercise more, and even purge with her. Manny eventually leaves the so-called diet behind.
I
but
would
Emma
too. I'll be
continues,
just like
and
Manny.
her habits worsen. She even faints
Like, I
at
need my
school.
food.
Did you eat today?
Yes?
What did you eat, Emma?
It all culminates in her loved one staging an intervention that sends her into a panic. At the hospital, she finally vows to change her habits before it's too late. It's a serious look at how serious and dangerous eating disorders truly are.
You have to stop. You have to stop, or you're gonna die.
Jeez,
Number
Manny was such a good
17,
friend.
Hazel denies being Muslim.
Oh my
Anti-Muslim
gosh.
sentiment was on the rise in many places, including
Like, she had to
Canada.
fit in. Like,
Degrassi
girl,
deals
no.
directly with this xenophobia in its second season. In the episode focusing on the school's International Day, Hazel is more of a mean girl than usual, arresting fellow student Fariza for wearing a hijab.
Very funny, Hazel.
I'm like, girl, what was the point? Like, really?
This behavior lands her in the principal's office when Fariza's project is destroyed in a deeply offensive manner. Although Hazel isn't the perpetrator, it's revealed that her attitude was the result of her own insecurity.
So,
Come on.
you're
She was
Jamaican.
so insecure.
What was your
Jeez.
first clue?
Just Aden, not really a common name. Maybe in Somalia.
She's also Muslim and has been lying about being Jamaican. The episode ends with her opening up and finally revealing her true self to the school.
Fariza wears that headscarf thing. How come you don't? It's a hijab. And I do when I go to mosque. But to take it on full time is a personal and important decision.
Number 16, Liberty puts her baby up for adoption. Before Juno or 16 and Pregnant, Degrassi boldly tackled the controversial subject of teen pregnancy and its repercussions. This was done through the perspective of once model student Liberty Van Zant, whose baby would be the first
Like,
carried
I
to term
never
by a
would have
teen
known
in
that
the
she
next
was gonna get
generation.
pregnant.
It's good to know.
Just like you to make
Like,
a joke.
what?
That's what you used to like about me, remember? Is that I made jokes.
Yeah, well, everything's
Aw.
changed. I don't have time for jokes. This is serious.
Although Liberty and the father, JT, debate keeping the child, they eventually settle on adoption. This proves difficult for Liberty, who regrets her choice after giving birth.
Was it hard to let him go?
Get out.
I'm sorry.
Ooh, is that Derek or Danny?
I'm adopted.
I cannot
Just
stand
something
him
I
in later
always wondered.
seasons.
Get out. I mean it.
The way he
Paper's
treated
already
Jane, I'm
signed.
like,
She
oh,
ends up
disgust
drowning
me.
her depression in alcohol. It looks bleak until an adopted classmate suggests she make a memory box for the child to reconnect with her when she gets older. Addressing such a multifaceted topic is not easy, but Degrassi does not shy away from a challenge.
I want the
Nah.
baby to know he had lots of good people thinking of him.
Number 15, Marco is jumped. Many
That's
Degrassi
right.
episodes helped viewers come to terms with the world around them. This season 3 one helped one of the show's actors understand himself.
Yo, Spinner has come a long way.
One of Degrassi's coolest girls for your mom's pasta sauce? It doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah? Then stop crying and explain it to me, because obviously I'm a moron and don't get it.
Because, man.
Because what?
Because I'm gay.
Pride focuses
said
on
it.
Marco, whose girlfriend Ellie is growing tired of being his beard. She pressures him to come out, even though he isn't sure he's ready.
Last year, fine. But I'm not lying
She's
anymore.
like, you're not gonna use me.
I'm not your girlfriend.
His fears seem to be founded, as he's
Oh, yeah, that
mistreated
was
by
so
Spinner
messed up.
and even attacked by a group of guys. It's horrifying to say the least. Fortunately, Jimmy reaches out a helping hand, implying
Yeah.
hope for the future.
Here, I'm not going anywhere, okay?
Jeez, Jimmy was such a good friend too.
You're all right.
Gosh.
You're gonna be okay.
This landmark episode was played with shocking authenticity by Adamo Ruggiero, who was coming to terms with his own sexuality at the same time as his character.
Wow, really?
Came out also through Marco, so we kind of grew up together and we figured it out together. And it was incredible that the show at that time was able to start that conversation.
Number 14,
That's a cute little
Craig's
response.
hotel breakdown and bipolar
Oh my gosh,
diagnosis.
Craig was crazy in
Craig
that
has been
episode.
through a lot, dealing with a father who mistreats him. Fortunately,
Yeah.
he's saved from his horrific home life
Yeah,
when
Joey.
Joey, his stepfather, offers to take him in. Things seem to be going well until
Oh
the
my
night
gosh,
before his
no.
girlfriend Ashley's dad's wedding.
Will you marry me?
No. He looked deranged. Like, Craig honestly looked deranged in that freaking episode. Like, look at his freaking eyes, yo. His whole eyes and face. I would have said no too. I'd be like, boy, you scaring me. Like, bye. No, I would not marry you. Screw you.
Fortunately, he's saved from his horrific home life when Joey, his stepfather, offers to take him in. Things things seem to be going well until the night before his girlfriend Ashley's dad's wedding.
Will you marry me?
I'm sorry, I can't.
No, I actually want you to marry me.
Craig, I'm sorry, no.
Rejected, he lashes out and trashes his hotel room. When he gets back home, he's confronted by
totally
Joey,
snapped.
whom he physically fights. This act of violence is the final straw that gets him sent to a hospital, where it's revealed that his erratic behavior was a manic episode.
You're bipolar. You've got a chemical imbalance in your brain, but you're getting help.
His diagnosis marks an important instance of mental health being addressed on Degrassi, something that wasn't too common in 2005.
I'm gonna be managing this for the rest of my life.
Number 13, predatory basketball
Ew.
coach. While Pretty Little Liars uncritically featured a prominent student-teacher relationship throughout its seasons, Degrassi showcased the inherently
Like, why
predatory
you be so
nature
close,
of such
yo?
dynamics.
Move.
In Heart Like Mine, Casey begins getting dating advice from his basketball coach, Coach Carson.
One thing I can tell you is you gotta go after the things you want.
Maybe I will.
Give it up for Coach Carson!
All
It
in that.
initially appears innocent, and Casey is thankful for the help. But things get weird when Carson invites the student over to watch explicit videos and drink.
Yeah, totally
Oh,
so
adult
freaking weird, right?
pay-per-view. You like blondes, right?
The situation escalates when the coach reveals he owns a weapon and orders an escort. Finally realizing the adult is crossing a line, Casey leaves
Smart
and
choice.
reports his former mentor. Carson is promptly dismissed and
screw
arrested,
you. See you
as
never.
all teachers who act inappropriately with their students
Come
should
on.
be.
You were right about Carson.
Sorry.
Number 12, Alex's job. Season 6 of
Alex is my
Degrassi follows
chick.
some of
Alex
its
and Minnie,
characters
they were
out of
both
high
my
school
freaking
and
girls.
into the real world, exploring the financial and familial realities many face.
I mean, I'll work double shifts, but I'm not sure it's gonna be enough, you know?
It's our problem, okay? And we're gonna get through it.
In Don't You Want Me, Alex learns that she and her mom will soon be evicted, as the latter's boyfriend has left them in debt. She makes the difficult decision to begin exotic dancing for money. She tries to convince herself it'll help, but feels guilty lying to her closest friends.
What else aren't you telling me? How bad is it that you have to do this?
I'm doing what I have to do, okay? Just don't worry. And don't be mad, please.
Unfortunately, she returns home one night to find that her mother has spent all of the cash she earned getting her boyfriend out of prison. Thankfully, Alex takes a stand and leaves, moving in with Paige and friends while she finds a place of her own.
I can't go home. I have nothing. Just help me, please.
Sweetie, you have me.
Number 11, Spinner is diagnosed with cancer. It can be difficult for teens to accept similarities they have with their parents. This is especially true for Spinner, who learns he may have cancer.
Yo, I
just
was
like
so
his
worried
late
for Spinner. I was
father.
like, nah,
How long
nah,
have you had
freaking
that left?
Spinner. And I was starting to like
I
this
didn't
dude.
know I had one.
Although he initially tries to deny it, the pain he's in is overwhelming, and he becomes increasingly afraid of what the doctors will tell him. When it's confirmed that he does have testicular cancer, it's absolutely devastating, both for him and the audience.
Okay. Wait, what if I change my mind? No operation, no chemo, then what?
Boy, you'll die.
The cancer will spread. You could die in months, maybe weeks.
The Next Generation had dealt with the illness
Snake,
before,
yeah.
when Snake was diagnosed with leukemia, but there was something uniquely shocking about seeing a student deal with such a deadly disease.
To shave off his hair.
Thankfully, he eventually beat it, and his arc taught viewers the importance of early detection.
Now, I know it's quite a shock for a man as young as yourself, but I want to assure you that testicular cancer is among the most treatable forms of cancer, with full remission in
Yo,
nearly
Spinner's like, oh my
90%
gosh, is this a freaking nightmare?
Number
Like,
10,
no.
Manny's abortion.
yeah, that's right.
certainly blazed a trail with
I
this.
think it got
plotline.
banned here in the States.
Accidents will happen.
At one
Manny
point.
realizes she's pregnant and immediately worries about what it'll mean for her future.
Have you thought about what you might do if I can't? It's just way too much.
She babysits with her would-be
Get
baby
off
daddy
my
Craig
screen.
and has serious
Thank
discussions
you.
with adults about her options before coming to the conclusion that abortion is right for her. Abortion was already a hot topic for adults.
Ultimately, the responsibility is yours. So the decision is yours, no one else's. You mean I
I don't have to do this if I don't want to.
The episode was temporarily banned from airing in the United States.
Come on, I'm like,
It wasn't
jeez, we're
until
whack.
2 years later, when Nanny's actress Cassie Steele chose the 2-part episode for a cast picks marathon, that it would finally be shown to American viewers.
Come on, as it should.
How will I feel after?
Everybody feels differently. Lots of women cry a little. Many feel relieved. As long as you're sure of your decision, then
I'll be okay.
Number 9, Ellie's mental health. Being the child of a colonel in the army is hard enough. It's even harder when your alcoholic mother becomes neglectful when he's deployed.
Had my interview. Total disaster. My whole day was a disaster.
And I was
This
like,
is
I
the
don't care.
reality for Ellie Nash, who resorts to self-harm as she struggles to cope with her stress. When her classmate Paige walks in on her bleeding in the bathroom, she realizes what has happened and implores her to stop and get help.
Look, okay, I totally get that you don't want to talk to me, but
My arm's fine.
I'm not talking about your arm. You need to talk to someone like Miss Sauvé or...
All I
Come on,
need
go, Paige.
is for you to leave me alone like you normally do.
It takes some convincing, but Ellie eventually opens up to her and agrees to talk about her problems instead of hurting herself. In a single episode, Degrassi succinctly portrays why self-harm is not a solution, while also making sure to treat its teenage character with kindness and understanding.
I wasted your time.
No. You'll talk when you're ready.
Number 8, Claire loses her baby.
Oh,
Drew
right.
and Claire learn that they're expecting a baby boy. They're both happy and
Wasn't it
excited.
Eli's though?
We are having a boy.
That's not your baby, idiot.
We should name him Adam.
Told that the pregnancy is a healthy one, Claire continues to devote herself to preparations for his arrival. Sadly, the baby meets a similar fate to his late namesake when Claire is told that he's died in the womb.
I'm afraid I have some upsetting news.
I'm telling you, Degrassi is cursed.
We still
It's a
have
cursed
further tests
school.
to run on the baby, but I'm no longer hearing a heartbeat.
The plot was far from the first Degrassi pregnancy story, but it was the first to end in a miscarriage. This unprecedented tragedy was worsened by the fact that Claire had just beaten cancer and wasn't sure if she would ever have another chance to have her own child.
I just can't believe we're never gonna get to know him. We might never know why. It's just not fair.
Number
You can
7,
blame
Adam's
Degrassi.
death.
Thank
When
Degrassi.
Degrassi started, mobile phones were still pretty rudimentary. Almost a decade later, the show was still
My
airing.
boy,
and writers
no.
had to come up with episodes about the tech that was now integral to their new audience's lives.
Come on, signal. Yes.
In Cannonball, Adam is desperate to send a text message to his ex-girlfriend Becky. Without cell service, he goes for a drive and is delighted to see his
Bad
phone
idea.
light up with a message as he's driving. He answers immediately, but soon realizes he's going to crash into another car. Trying to avoid it, he hits a tree instead,
You guys can fix him, right?
That's the plan. But first we need to operate.
serving as a grim reminder that life is
Come on.
always more important than a text.
Open your eyes now. Open your eyes now. It's time to leave. It's time to leave me.
Number 6, Rick puts Terry in a coma. When it comes to media depictions of domestic
Yeah, Rick
violence,
was a
it's
psycho.
relatively common for the victim to emerge victorious. There's often a big, powerful scene where they tell off their abuser and finally leave them. Unfortunately, real life isn't always as cinematic.
I'm fine, Paige. There's nothing to
Girl,
worry.
no.
So what, you've just forgiven Creep Boy for beating you up?
He apologized.
Degrassi
Don't mean
portrays this
nothing, chick.
inconvenient reality with Terry and Rick's relationship. Though she sees the warning signs, Terry returns to Rick after he hurts her in the hopes that he'll change.
He was like bipolar or something. Like, he was crazy.
No, let's walk.
It's really far.
She called me a psycho.
Because you
just
are, idiot.
Paige being Paige.
Nah, she right. He is a psycho.
That makes it okay?
Their argument ends horrifically, with his actions putting her in a coma. Unfortunately, this unique portrayal is undermined by the fact that Degrassi completely drops the character's plot afterwards. Terry moves
Yeah.
and is never heard from again.
We still don't know the extent of
Would
the
have been nice to
damage.
say a goodbye.
She came through the surgery. That's one big hurdle.
Number 5, Paige loses her trial. For Paige
Oh, yeah,
Michaelchuk,
so messed
one
up,
schoolgirl
jeez.
crush turns into a horrific
No.
nightmare.
Just take it slow, okay?
I would have punched him. I would have kicked him. I would have scratched him. I would have done everything I can to get that fool off of me. Like, no. Her saying, no, don't do it. Like, he's not going to listen, okay? He is the R word. And I'm just like, girl, like, you did it to your own self, especially when that chick said to not be with him. She went ahead and got with him. And I'm just like, girl, nah.
Dean, I said slow.
The 14-year-old cool girl has eyes for rival school soccer player Dean Walton, but she isn't ready.
His name had to be Dean. Jeez.
He ignores her lack of consent, leaving her shaken and confused.
I didn't even want to do it, Hazel. I said no over and over.
You said no? And he didn't listen?
Her best friend Hazel eventually convinces her that what he did was wrong, and she reports the assault to the authorities. What follows is an infuriatingly hard-to-watch trial in which Dean is found not guilty, in spite of Paige's harrowing first-hand testimony. The reason for the verdict is cited to be a lack of proof, which is all too common in these kinds of cases.
It's the kind of case that keeps me awake at night, because it's not the kind
the
that justice in my
thing.
position wants to hear. Given that there are no eyewitnesses and no physical evidence, I have no choice but to find the defendant not guilty. Mr. Walton, you are free to go.
Number 4, The Attack. Thanks to a prominent role played by Degrassi's most famous alumni, rapper Drake, Time Stands Still is probably one of the most well-known episodes of The Next Generation.
Come on.
He pretended to be my friend.
I'm like, dang, not Jimmy.
You made me do this.
For those unfamiliar, the two-parter portrays a kid bringing
that right there was like a Carrie
and the events that lead up
mess.
to it. Even if you know what's going to happen, it still remains genuinely tense and occasionally shocking.
You already shot someone.
It shows viewers how
I thought for
devastating
sure
these
Sean was gonna
extreme
get
acts
shot. I
of
was like,
violence
no.
are. The perpetrator, Rick Murray's victim Jimmy, is shown to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. It is a lasting reminder of one of the show's most intense and relevant moments.
That was crazy.
I am all alone.
Number 3, JT
Shut up,
is stabbed.
nah.
In the early
Nah.
days of Degrassi, you could always count on JT for comic relief. So it was
Come on,
shocking when the show
ooh.
began developing his character outside of his usual archetype.
He was like one of the OGs.
We've moved on.
On Next Gen.
Grown up. Both matured. Even you, JT.
He gets Liberty pregnant, gets involved with illicit
Don't
substances,
freaking show
and
me.
gets
Oh my
into a
gosh,
fight with a
no.
group of guys from a rival school.
No.
That fight would ultimately lead to his demise, with 2 Lakehurst students stabbing him outside a party.
That was just so random and shocking. Jeez, on her friggin' birthday too?
Liberty is able to get JT to a hospital, but it's too late. The students of Degrassi and viewers at home were stunned. His unexpected death became one of the show's most tragic moments, spotlighting how quickly and prematurely a young life can end.
You're joking.
I'm sorry. Your brother's gone.
Yeah,
It's
it was
gone?
so sad.
Number 2, Cam's death.
Oh, that was
Degrassi
another
is
sad
no
one too.
stranger to death, but it still comes as a deeply saddening surprise when
I'm like,
Cam
no,
takes his
not
own
young Dean Winchester.
No, there was a
Let me
mistake.
stop.
I just saw him the other day. Cam is obviously fine.
He's found on school grounds afterwards, and the heartbreaking news sends shockwaves through the school. His peers feel a range of complex emotions, including guilt over his passing, thinking that if they had behaved differently, he would still be alive.
He
These
would've.
are all normal feelings to have following the death of a loved
That
one
kid
at
was
their own
alone.
hands.
I know how hard it is to be away from home, and he hated hockey, but I didn't care. I still pushed. Should have been easier on him.
The show's honest and nuanced depiction of the difficult issue certainly made teens going through similar situations feel seen and helped them process their grief.
Okay, well, if you need me, know where you live. Got it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and
Okay, so
ring
who's
the
number
bell
one?
to
'Cause
get
I thought
notified
JT's
about our
stuff was
latest
number one.
videos.
So who
you
is
have
number
the
one?
option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Jane's mistreatment. Jane Says is undeniably one of Degrassi's darkest episodes. The two-parter deals with its titular character unearthing her past trauma. The plot kicks off with Jane's father coming back to town.
I didn't know she was still so mad at me.
Right. I'm like, screw
Did she ever
off,
tell you
yo.
why?
Carlos, she was 5 years old when you left.
I'm like, you should know, idiot.
She can't shake an unexplainable, uneasy feeling she has about him, and seeing him in person brings it all rushing back. She realizes that he abused her in the past, something she had since blocked out. Thankfully, when she works up the courage to tell her mom and brother about it, she's believed, and her dad is ostracized from the family.
She's got it right.
Lucas, come on.
You should go. No one in this family ever wants to see your face again.
They attend counseling to work through their feelings. Needless to say, the storyline shines a spotlight on the realities of such terrible mistreatment, serving as an important reminder to support survivors.
The healing process isn't easy, but with all of you working together as a family, this is an important first step.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from
do I?
And be
West Drive's Mess Drive. That show is so issue of the week.
Welcome to MsMojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most ridiculous moments on Degrassi: The Next Generation.
Boyfriends are temporary. Brothers are forever.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most absurd, awkward, and over-the-top things that happened in this teen drama and its movies. Plot points will be
not
discussed,
this one. Jeez,
so consider this your
no.
official spoiler alert.
Ooh.
Did we include your favorite off-the-wall Degrassi moment? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Jimmy and Spinner's
so
rap.
cringe.
A homie is a player, and that is all. So why you have to go and kick his ball and chain?
Let's hope that Aubrey Drake Graham didn't help write this atrocious rap behind the scenes.
That would be scary.
The boys of downtown Sasquatch struggled to craft a song that would show up Ashley's group in a battle of the bands. Considering the end of her relationship with Craig, the stakes feel particularly high for him. So Jimmy and Spinner think up this number, but we wish they hadn't. From its lack of flow to the misogynistic lyrics,
Greg looks
it's
scared.
a
like,
truly
what am I listening to?
mind-bogglingly bad rap.
So shut up, girl, and make my lunch. Yeah.
Nah.
Thankfully,
so
neither
tacky.
Margot nor Craig are into it. Their
Come on, I
shocked
wouldn't either.
expressions sum up how we feel about the whole thing. At the last minute, the four boys end up performing something different, and it's a good thing.
Don't ask me why you couldn't.
I mean, that's Craig's freaking song. I've been singing it throughout the whole freaking season. I like the freaking guitar sound.
Number 9, Wesley's
that was just
attempt at a
cringe.
pogo stick record. Friends, if your goals include getting a girlfriend and breaking a world record, maybe don't try to set one involving pogo sticks.
It's all about achieving my dreams. Yeah, but you also dreamt about having a girlfriend. Yeah, the girls see this. Yeah, dream dead.
Just ask Wesley why this is a bad idea. After realizing he hasn't accomplished any of his dreams, he decides that the way to impress everyone is to set a world record
that'll
for
make
the
him
most
so cool.
pogo stick jumps in one day.
Hey, Degrassi, spare time tomorrow? Come see West the Animal Betting Camp set a world record. He'll pogo his way into the record books and into your hearts. Oh boy.
He doesn't succeed, but he does manage to get a date. As viewers, we can't help but find the entire
in
premise of
slow-mo,
this story
really.
a little ridiculous. There had to be a better, less cringy way for Wesley to build his self-esteem.
On your mark. Get set.
He's like, I gotta impress her. I got to. Watch me.
Number 8, the Herbalists. It's hard not to feel bad for Claire in these episodes. Her ex-boyfriend is living with her, and her dad won't let her
He was like
move
her
in
stepbrother,
because he's
right?
playing house with his girlfriend.
Mom and Dad divorced. Stepdad and stepbrother just moved in. Up until recently, said stepbrother was my boyfriend. Yikes.
So when a nice woman at the bookstore tells her that she and her partner house struggling youth, Claire moves in with them. Yet there's an absurd twist. The lady and her boyfriend are dealing grass.
That's right.
Is that marijuana?
The pair,
No,
who prefer
Claire.
to be called
No, it's not.
herbalists, run an empire that their runaway housemates help with. It's all completely unbelievable and honestly really unnecessary.
That's it,
Of
yo.
course, the authorities get involved and Claire moves back home, but we never really unpack what happened. Yet, just like that, we never hear from the herbalists again.
Are you laughing?
Nope. Nah, she's not. Totally not.
My nerves are totally shot. I think I'm hysterical.
Number 7, the dinner.
Boyfriend? I don't know. I haven't seen him for months, and he hardly ever calls.
Wow. Guy sounds like a real jackass. You sure you want to keep seeing him?
Craig had a rough childhood, and he struggles with bipolar disorder. But that doesn't excuse the horrible way he treats his girlfriend, Manny. After becoming a rock star, he starts experimenting with an illicit substance,
BS.
and things get out of hand. He notably forces Manny to have dinner with Ellie, who's also in love with him.
I don't have any neuroses. Of course.
Really? Because I thought being constantly rejected by guys would mess you up, Ellie.
We understand that he's going through a difficult time, but Manny very clearly stated that she didn't want to go to the event. And when it goes badly, his version of comforting or reassuring her sounds more condescending than anything else.
Did you hear what she said?
Yeah, but you started it.
Wow, what a good boyfriend.
I mean, why can't you just get over her?
Things go even further off the rails from there, and let's just say we were facepalming the whole time. Number 6, the party.
Oh, yeah.
When Ashley and Toby's parents go out of town, they end up throwing a crazy bash.
Yeah.
Always one to mix things up, JT brings a single mind-altering
switch it,
pill.
though?
There's a whole room of girls down there needing some love.
Being the sole responsible party guest, Sean gives him and Toby a placebo and tells Ashley to get rid of the real thing. She ingests it instead,
Like an idiot.
resulting in her hooking up with Sean, being rude to Jimmy and Paige, and generally being a party pooper.
What I should have done is broken up with you on your birthday, like I was going to.
I cannot stand her,
Ash,
gosh.
would you just stop being such a hag already?
We had to rub our eyes to make sure we were seeing all that correctly.
I rolled my eyes like,
Meanwhile,
girl,
JT
stop.
and Toby hilariously act out even though they're sober. The episode feels more like a fever dream than anything else, and frankly, unhinged.
Toby, I'm floating on a fluffy white cloud.
Freaking JT. Sean's like, why am I hanging out with you
Number
again?
5, Marco kisses Craig.
Oh, yeah.
But that just adds to the cuteness that I would find you to be if you were a girl or I was not a guy.
That
Poor
episode
Marco.
was so not
In the course of
awkward
one episode,
enough.
he decides that he wants to graduate early so he can live with his boyfriend Dylan. Then he's told he can't give blood due to a blatantly homophobic policy.
Oh?
Well, it's policy. You have to understand. But I can't let you be a donor.
Yeah, totally not messed up.
As if that wasn't enough, he goes on to learn that his partner is cheating on him. So we honestly understand when he smooches Craig in an attempt to stir up some jealousy in Dylan. The latter's
that
stunned
worked.
expression perfectly captures the secondhand embarrassment we feel for Marco. Craig also makes a pretty good and funny point.
So when in doubt, you kiss Craig?
As awkward as the kiss itself was, it gave us one of the funniest moments in
Craig's, like,
Degrassi
so
history.
disgusted.
Number 4, Emma and Jay's ravine adventure. How could we ever forget the episode where Emma accuses Jay of giving her a social disease?
You gave me a social disease.
In all fairness, Emma
Girl,
is struggling at this point, but hooking up with Jay in a literal van down by the ravine isn't her finest moment. She's far from being the only person he's seeing, much to the dismay of his girlfriend.
Hey, best friend Amy, let's give JT a scene. Tell me about the ravine, Amy.
The ensuing disease outbreak aside, the creme de la creme may be the cheap plastic bracelets Jay gives every girl he seduces. It's a sleazy move, to put it mildly.
Every player gets a prize.
Did we mention all of this takes place against a production of Dracula? They don't insinuate that Jay is a vampire, but that would have been one heck of a plot twist. Number 3.
Yeah, he looked like a
inappropriate
vampire.
Sibling bond.
Twincest. When is a kiss more than just a kiss? When it's between New York
Oh my God, she
socialite
did kiss him.
twins, Declan
She
and
did.
Fiona Coyne.
That was
It turns
so
out Game
great.
of Thrones
Yo.
isn't the only show to feature twins in an inappropriate relationship.
Awkward.
While Declan and Fiona aren't as over the top as
No.
Cersei and Jaime Lannister, their relationship is questionable.
Fiona always warned us against going for her brother. It was almost as though she wanted to keep Declan all to herself.
It all comes to a head when she has too much to drink and
Like,
kisses
just
him to make
why?
some sort of point during an argument with Holly J at a
No.
party. As New York socialites,
girl.
their infamous smooch makes it onto page 6 and even leads to a punny nickname. Thankfully, this
That was
plotline
totally not
was quickly
embarrassing.
dropped. But really, Degrassi, did we need to see this kiss in the first place? We knew that
No,
Fiona
we
was a
really
little
didn't.
too attached to Declan.
Are you two gonna couple out all summer?
Yeah, that was very problematic.
So what am I supposed to do?
We didn't need to go this route. Number 2, Manny's image change. Remember
Oh,
when
that was
Manny
kind of
decided that she
iconic,
didn't
though.
want to be cute? She wanted to be hot?
I want to be hot.
Come on.
Not cute, not adorable. Hot.
Hot.
Wow.
She achieves this by parading down the hall in a cropped shirt, super low-rise jeans, and a bright blue thong. Naturally,
Come on.
everyone's jaw drops. Ours too, but it's because we can't believe she'd really wear a visible thong to school. Unsurprisingly,
Like in
the
school,
principal
what
calls
the
her out.
heck?
But lowriders are in, and
I've had complaints, so no more visible underwear.
We get what the idea was here, but that doesn't make it any less wild. Funnily enough, the infamous look lives on, as
Yo,
Cassie
what?
Steele, who played Manny, donned it for a TikTok challenge. She actually
man.
crushed it. Even her former co-star Drake thought so.
Quote,
She like redid
"Fit
the
is
whole thing.
museum worthy, to be honest, Santos."
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The suggestive pictures. The cheerleaders learn that selling explicit photos of themselves isn't the best idea.
Right.
It totally objectifies women and turns them into disembodied boobs instead of actual human people.
What she said.
Spinner and Emma get married. They inexplicably decide to stay together.
Yo,
despite
that was
never having
unnecessary.
dated.
Do you still take Emma
That didn't make no
to be your
sense.
wife, no matter what curveballs fate chucks at
No.
your head?
It should have been Emma and freaking Sean.
And Emma,
No. I still don't get it till this
kinda
day.
same deal?
You know I do.
Peter's substance use disorder. He deserves better than this storyline.
Don't lose that pretty smile.
Jimmy gets an artificial boost. There was definitely a less harmful way to improve his basketball skills.
Please, I need it.
Golding
Look at me. I'm half alive.
That's right.
Jimmy, it's my last pill. I can't miss it.
Just this once. A little energy boost. This game's my last chance to prove myself to Armstrong.
Sav finds out Anya likes live action role playing. It's important to accept your partner's hobbies, no matter how weird you think they are.
Totally.
Empress of Dreadamort, thy minstrel hath.
Yo, no, not this scene. This scene was cringe. The freaking camera pointing to their faces, like, no. No.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our
Why?
channel and ring the bell to get notified about
Number 1, Eli runs through the halls
was
without
shocked.
clothes.
What on earth are you doing?
Oh, it's so refreshing. I may be on drugs right now.
Archie Simpson really doesn't get paid enough. Enter
You
Exhibit A. Eli takes a mind-altering substance, showers in the girls' locker room, and declares himself a superhero.
Do I look damaged to you? I'm a freaking superhero.
His journey does not stop there, though. He proceeds to run through the school naked, carrying a towel as a cape. Somehow, no one is able to stop him, and he embraces Mr. Simpson. Based on his expression, Archie realized he's
his
vastly
face.
underpaid. Eli is going through a rough time at this point,
Awkward.
though, and Mr. Simpson, being the wonderful human that he is, ultimately offers him guidance.
It's been hard for me, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I know. I've been keeping an eye on you. So what went wrong today?
There may be a nice ending, but the moment itself was nothing short of absurdly awkward.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip.
Okay, people who watched this all the way through, that was my reaction. I liked Degrassi. Like I said, I've watched it when it was aired on like Teen Nick in the freaking States because it's a Canadian show, and I was like, okay, yeah, this was my freaking mess. Like, I honestly kind of related to some of these freaking characters, especially the female characters. I can relate to more because I'm a female myself, and so just watching their struggles and like, yeah, I can totally relate to that in a way. But yeah, that was just interesting. At first I was gonna stop it, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna keep on going, because I was gonna stop once Emma and them left, but then I was like, okay, like I'm kind of interested to just see what exactly is going to happen next with these characters, since it's their turn to basically experience and be like the main characters or whatever. So that was it for this freaking video. Chill to Explode. You guys know I am freaking out, and until freaking next time, for those that are interested and want to see more, you guys who have watched this video, stay freaking lit. Deuces.